Have you ever wondered, where does America's fentanyl supply originate? Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, is up to 100 times more potent than morphine, originally developed to manage severe pain in medical settings. But its dark side is the misuse and abuse, often leading to addiction and fatal overdoses. It's a crisis that has gripped the United States with devastating impacts on communities, families, and the economy. But where does this deadly drug come from? Much of America's fentanyl supply can be traced back to China. A significant portion of the fentanyl and its precursors found in the U.S. originate from Chinese laboratories, a fact that has inflamed tensions between the two countries. China's role in this crisis is complex. On one hand, the country has taken steps to regulate fentanyl production and distribution. The Chinese government has even cooperated with the U.S. to crack down on illicit drug manufacturers. But on the other hand, there's evidence that suggests a more sinister side. Reports show that China's fentanyl trade is being funded by cryptocurrency transactions, with up to 90% of Chinese fentanyl suppliers accepting payments in digital currencies. This has allowed the fentanyl trade to flourish, often undetected, as transactions are difficult to trace and regulate. So, China plays a pivotal role in the fentanyl crisis. But how does this happen? You might be surprised to learn that cryptocurrency has a significant role in China's fentanyl production. Indeed, the digital currency world has found its way into the heart of the fentanyl crisis. A report by Elliptic, a blockchain analytics firm, has unveiled some startling facts. It found that a staggering 90% of Chinese fentanyl suppliers accept payments in cryptocurrency. This revelation has far-reaching implications. Cryptocurrency, with its promise of anonymity and decentralized operations, presents a significant challenge for authorities. It's like trying to catch a shadow in a pitch-dark room. The use of cryptocurrency enables these suppliers to operate under the radar, making it difficult for authorities to track and regulate these transactions. What's even more alarming is the scale of these operations. Up until now, these suppliers have already received $27 million in cryptocurrency payments. To put that into perspective, this amount could potentially fund up to $54 billion worth of fentanyl pills. The connection between cryptocurrency and the fentanyl trade is not just a trend, but a systemic issue. The lack of oversight and regulation in the digital currency market offers a perfect breeding ground for such illicit activities. This relationship between cryptocurrency and fentanyl production is not just a problem for China, it's a global issue. As the tentacles of the fentanyl crisis reach far and wide, the use of cryptocurrency in this trade poses a significant challenge for the international community. So we see that cryptocurrency acts as a fuel for the fentanyl trade in China, but what is being done about it? In tackling the fentanyl crisis, regulatory efforts are key. This statement is the guiding principle for both American and Chinese leaders as they grapple with the complexities of the international drug trade. Senator Elizabeth Warren of the United States has been a strong advocate for increased regulation of the cryptocurrency market, following revelations of its role in funding the fentanyl trade. A report by Elliptic revealed that a staggering 90% of Chinese fentanyl suppliers accept payments in cryptocurrency. This has resulted in a whopping $27 million being funneled into crypto wallets, potentially funding up to $54 billion worth of fentanyl pills. Warren has been forthright in her criticism of the crypto industry. She's calling for tighter controls as illicit crypto transactions have soared to a record high. In fact, in 2021 alone, these transactions hit a staggering $20.1 billion. But it's not just about clamping down on cryptocurrency. There's been a concerted effort to regulate the very production of fentanyl. In a significant move, President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping agreed to regulate fentanyl precursors during the Asian-Pacific Economic Committee Summit. This agreement targets China, which has been identified as the primary source of key ingredients for the drug in the United States. While these regulatory efforts are a step in the right direction, the complexity of the international drug trade presents significant challenges. With each move to tighten controls, the intricate web of the drug trade adapts, presenting new hurdles to overcome. But, as the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. These steps, taken by leaders like Warren, Biden, and Jinping, are indeed significant. They are the first steps in a long journey towards finding a solution to the fentanyl crisis. They shine a light on the path to a future where the devastating impact of fentanyl can be mitigated and hopefully one day eradicated. Regulatory efforts are key in tackling the fentanyl crisis, but the complexity of the international drug trade presents significant challenges. The path to curbing the fentanyl crisis isn't straightforward. A myriad of challenges stand in the way of effectively tackling this issue, making it a complex, multifaceted problem. One of the main hurdles is the intricate nature of the international drug trade. Fentanyl and its precursors are produced in one country, then smuggled across borders, often ending up in places thousands of miles away from their point of origin. This makes tracking and intercepting these substances a daunting task. The international cooperation required to effectively stem this tide is considerable, and even then, it may not be enough. After all, as long as there is demand, there will always be someone willing to supply. The situation is further complicated by the rise of cryptocurrency. Digital currencies, with their promise of anonymity, have become the preferred method of payment for many involved in the illicit drug trade. This new avenue of finance has outpaced the abilities of regulators, making it even more difficult to trace the flow of money that funds the production and distribution of fentanyl. Cryptocurrency transactions hit a record high of $20.1 billion in 2021, with about $27 million already received in crypto wallets by Chinese fentanyl suppliers. These numbers are staggering and highlight the scale of the problem. The anonymity provided by these digital currencies makes it incredibly difficult to track and regulate these transactions, thereby fueling the fentanyl trade. Experts warn that these issues are not easily overcome. Regulating the cryptocurrency market and curbing the international drug trade requires global cooperation, innovative solutions, and time. These challenges are considerable and require a comprehensive, multi-pronged approach if we are to make any headway in curbing the fentanyl crisis. The fentanyl crisis is indeed a complex issue with no easy solutions in sight. With each step forward, it seems we uncover yet more challenges. But the stakes are too high to not persevere. After all, countless lives hang in the balance. Let's recap what we've learned about the fentanyl crisis and China's role in it. We started off by illuminating the grave fentanyl crisis in the United States, a deadly epidemic that has been largely driven by an influx of synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, into the country. It's a crisis that has seen countless lives lost to overdose, and families and communities devastated. We then turned our attention to China, laying bare its role as a pivotal player in the crisis. As a primary source of fentanyl and its precursors, China has inadvertently fueled the US opioid crisis. The involvement of cryptocurrency in this equation, as a preferred method of payment for fentanyl suppliers in China, has further complicated the situation. We also delved into the regulatory efforts that are being undertaken to combat this issue. From Senator Elizabeth Warren's call for greater regulation of the cryptocurrency market, to the landmark agreement between President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping to regulate fentanyl precursors in China, we've seen some significant strides. However, these efforts are still in their early stages, and their effectiveness remains to be fully evaluated. And finally, we unpacked some of the challenges in curbing the fentanyl crisis. The international drug trade is a complex and multifaceted issue, and while diplomatic agreements and increased regulations are positive steps, they alone are not enough to completely halt the fentanyl trade. In conclusion, the fentanyl crisis is a multifaceted problem with no simple solution. China's role as a major supplier, the involvement of cryptocurrency, and the regulatory efforts all form part of a complex tapestry that continues to evolve. As we continue to grapple with the fentanyl crisis, understanding China's role and the complexities involved is key to finding effective solutions. Until next time, thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.